So hello and welcome back to another episode of Non Traditional Headspace. Today I'm going to be standing because I wanted to move things up a little bit, change things up a little bit. So that's why I'm standing. Hopefully this allows me to be more in the flow of things about what we're talking today, which is today's topic is about friendships. Yep. For anyone out there who is listening or watching that is having trouble making friends as an adult, well, hello there. You're not alone. Yep. It's time to talk about it, people. Talk about the fact that it's not easy to make friends as an adult. It's not an easy thing to do, and I'll, of course, take you back to my own personal experience, and hopefully you guys can identify with part of it if you're going through something similar. Otherwise, maybe just I would be really interested to hear other people's experiences with this situation because I'm having a hard time. Like everybody is in their era of something. Like I'm in my wellness era, I am in my horses era, I am in my eating healthy era. Well, get the fuck out of here. You know what era I'm in? I'm in the no friends era. Yeah, it's fucking hard to make friends as an adult. I broke it down to what it means to me, this thing about making friends. And I realized that throughout my life, I have outgrown friendships, which some people out there say it's normal too. Yeah, I'll give you that one. Certain ages in life and certain circumstances in life will take you there, to the places where you will have to outgrow certain friendships. So breaking it down to when I was younger, like little, I realized that there's certain friendships that I still mourn to this day because I miss them in my life. Like if I could have that quality of friendships that I had back then, and that life took them away from me for whatever reason it was that I'm going to share with you right now, I wish I could have them back, but I just can't. Like, people move on. The world evolves, right? And I miss Claudia. She was my friend in school. I don't know what's going on with her life. She moved schools. She didn't keep going to high school with me. So I have no idea what she's up to. Like, she changed places where she lived at and everything. So disconnection after school. But she was even my pen pal friend. And I emulated that same thing with my best friend, a girl, again in high school. And I changed a lot, and that's normal. This is the kind of friendships that you're allowed to lose because it's normal. Okay, you're a kid, your hormones start getting a little bit rowdy when you're in high school, so you're maturing in certain areas of your life and you're becoming, like, people change in general. But then I created like this very deep friendships again. There was another girl from church that I was a very good friend with, and again, she had to move. She was not even from the same town I was. So bye-bye to that friendship. Then in high school, I met my best friend, a girl. But before she came along, and I'll tell you about that one, and I know that I can be open about that one because she was even a guest in this podcast. I want to mention, like, I also had a very good guy, like a boy friend, and not as a romantic relationship, but an actual friendship that was a guy during high school. And we got along. We had very similar sense of humor, but for some reason he decided that by the last years of high school, then he was going to feel attracted to me. Like, he said to people back then that he had fallen in love with me, which till this day, that's bullshit, dude, and you know it. You wanted to get into my panties, and that's it. Okay? Because, yeah, boys will be boys. And I don't know. It's normal, right? Like, their thingy is getting up more than usual every day, and they're horny. And yeah, I think when boys are in high school, they're like 90% of the time horny all the time. They're watching a lot of porn probably and doing all the shit. And anyway, that ended things quickly because it fucked up the relationship that we had as friends. Because I certainly didn't feel comfortable anymore because I was not looking at it that way. Like, I was not attracted to him physically, I can tell you that. And I knew that it was not going to be the same. But it was still like, I like that person a lot till this day. Like, I'm sure that if I have a sit down with that person, I'll probably have a lot of fun because, again, we had the same sense of humor. He's funny as fuck, and there's probably points of views that are similar as well because I don't know, we both grew up in like medium working class families, and I don't know, we had a lot of things in common, so we had fun. But I just didn't like him that way. So that friendship kind of fucked up. And then I reconnected with him again later on in life. But by the time I saw him again, he was going through a breakup. Like, he had been married and then he was going through the separation. And I knew that was not like the right place or time to try to reconnect because, it's not like we hadn't been communicating for so long. And I just didn't want things to get awkward to the point in which I gave the wrong signals about anything. And yeah, I wish I could have been there more to actually be the person that he could feel comfortable with to talk about more personal stuff. But, we hadn't been that close for so long. So those are the kind of things that I regret that happened. And then my best friend as a girl, well, she kept being my friend during high school and even after high school. But then there's her life can be dramatic, till this day. It can be dramatic, like, what can I say? It can be dramatic. And Giselle, her name is Giselle. I'm going to say her name here. Well, Giselle was my first guest in this podcast, and, she shared with all of us her story. And, well, this is the very first person that I was really direct to. Like, this is the only friendship that I have been so direct in this, because what happened back then and that she shared here with us as well was a deal breaker for me in a friendship, and that with her, that situation even happened before all the fucked up situation that happened with me with the whole domestic violence thing and partner abuse that I shared with you in that previous podcast, just the one right before this one. That happened afterwards, so. But even back then, when I was her very close friend, I knew that I didn't agree with somebody being somebody else's mistress. Like, I was not. I cannot be a friend if you're somebody else's mistress. Like, I can't. Like, my values and my principles won't allow it. Like, I can't. I won't be a true, authentic, honest friend if I don't let you know and give it to you every time I see you because I don't agree with it. And I didn't want to, bash her every time I saw her. So I was not in for it. And I told her, like, if you're going to keep that going, like, I'm sorry, I just can't be your friend for now. And, well, she decided what she decided back then. And I know it was hard. Like, she didn't mean to. Like, she explained it here, how it all went down. And I kind of regret not being there more. Like, I apologized to her also as well. But at the same time, it's like, I knew I couldn't be that friend. So, but I was, you see, that's the kind of person I am. I'll let you know it. I'll let you have it if you need to. And I expect the same thing from people, Even if I don't like it, even if I don't 100% agree with it, because nobody likes to be called out in their bullshit. Like, let's be honest too. Nobody likes that. But anyway, so that one went away. And then I was in my 20s. And I've seen this, like these life coach people who have all their podcasts, and this is just a coincidence because I'm talking about friendships today because I'm going through this. Like, I'm literally going through this right now. I moved out somewhere else in another country again, trying to adapt again. Like, this is my 4th time now. Again. So it's not easy, you know. Every time you move, resetting, readaptation, trying to create a group of friends, it's hard, man. It's hard. So in my 20s, I did meet like these life coach people, like I said, like they have their own podcasts and they have written books and shit, which, by the way, I'm gonna go in a slight rant about that if you would allow me. Okay, let me tell you something. Is it me, or there is a lot of people out there just doing the same bullshit type? Like, they have the same style. They were like, I have a word for you today. Get up and get your ass out. Nail the day. And then they'll do something. I don't know what the fuck. Cut the crap, man. Like, that's not real, and you're not fucking suffering. You gotta talk about, you wanna talk about reality? This is reality, okay? When you're literally going through it and sharing it in the moment. Don't come to me with your bullshit like, when I was meditating, I had this illumination moment, and I can tell you that there's friends for you out there. Don't give up. Like, fuck that shit. That's not real, okay? Let's be honest. Or they just go reposting quotes or phrases from other people in their social media, and I think somebody just got called out on that one because they're not genuine. They're just, you know, stealing from other people's content or ideas. They're not their own ideas. And anyway, but that's the rant. I'm over it. Let's go back to the topic. So again, then there went Giselle's and I's friendship. Giselle and I always kept reconnecting back and forth every now and then, but it was not the same dynamic anymore. And again, she went through a lot of shit. And if you want to know what happened to her, you can go and listen to the episodes that we have about her life. And then after, in my 20s, like I said, and people say this, like, when you're in your 20s, it's normal. You're going to outgrow relationships in friendships because you're growing, you're maturing more, you're becoming more independent, blah, blah, blah. True. And I agree with that. I had another great boyfriend, like a guy who was very much my friend, and I enjoyed. I mean, we could sleep together in the same bed. Nothing happened because we didn't have that problem, you know, of him being attracted to me or vice versa. But then, this is where I want to admit something, and I want to admit it, and I hope everybody else out there is willing to admit it. We humans can be shitty friends. We can be shitty friends. Okay? Myself included. And I'll let you know later how have I identified that I'm a shitty friend. Like, I made that introspection myself. But this friend, that boyfriend that I had in my 20s up to my 30s almost, well, whenever he was in a new relationship, like, he would like fuck around the place, you know. He was a horny motherfucker. Like, he liked to date girls, and normal, you know. He's 20, he's a man, and he's single. Not a problem. But whenever he got like in a more serious type of relationship, he would cut off his friends, me included, like his best friend at the time. He would cut me off. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? To the point where the second time or the third time maybe that he did it, I'm like, fuck it, I'm out. Like, you cannot be doing this to me. Like, whenever you're dating someone, like, you disappear and you start ghosting your friends, and then suddenly when it doesn't work out, you come back and just come and take what you need. No, like, fuck it, fuck you. And then it kind of became obvious, and then we also diverted, and he ended up getting married, you know. And that's another thing. Like, people, again, whether it's dating, they get married, they have children, disconnect. And I know, like, people are doing their thing, but I don't understand why do they think that it's okay just to disconnect completely from the friendships. Like, why? as a matter of fact, friends were there before you met the person, probably. So, shouldn't you be giving a little bit more appreciation to the friendship? Just saying. Like, debatable point there. So, that's another one. And then I had another girlfriend that I had as well, that I hang out with her a lot. And yeah, situations. We used to work at the same place. And then we hung out all the time. We were great friends. We partied a lot together and everything. But then she was also going through her, um, you know, stage of trying to get more serious with her boyfriend, who now became her husband. And I respect that. Like, I respect that. What I don't get is, again, that, like, I know you're making a new step, in your life, and you probably have to low down the energy that you had for partying and all that. I get it, but we didn't just connect for partying, like, and because we have to understand that there's friends for everything. Sometimes there's friends that you only go to party with, and that you see them in the same group because you party with them. There's friends because you hang out because you have the same hobbies. There's friends because they're part of the same family group or whatever. What? There's friends for everything. But I'm talking about friendships where you share deeper stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you actually talk about what happens in your personal life, what happens as you hang out as friends, the struggles with money, with relationships, trying to get in a romantic relationship, all of that. Trying to get that job that you're looking for, trying to change that job, like deeper conversations. It's not like the medical situations, like all of it is there. It's on the table. But then again, she just went her way. I went my way. I remember I had also left. I left country and everything. So that's it. You start moving. Like, I have given you like maybe 5-6 examples, and there's one of them that, well, I used to consider her my best friend as well in life, and she happened to be family as well. And something happened that was related to money. And this is why I told you last time that whenever you want to fuck a relationship, involve money, and it's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna find its way to be broken, because money can do that sometimes to friendships if it's involved in the wrong way. Not always. I mean, there's situations where it actually helps, but most of the time, if it's for the most stupid reasons, it can fuck up a relationship real fast. So yeah, that happened. And ever since then, it was never the same. It was never the same. And I honestly, if I'm being honest, I actually muted notifications from social media as well, from this person's account, because I was grieving that relationship. I was mourning for a while, and I felt like heartbroken, like if I was breaking up with someone, like romantically. That's how I felt. I was destroyed, and the truth is that I don't think this person made an effort either to get back in touch. And you know what? That's when you realize that maybe, yeah, people are, let's just say, people say these things, but you don't want to think they're true, but maybe they are true. When they say, it's like, that's when you realize that perhaps you were never real friends. Right? It hurts. Like, it's hurtful to say those words. But maybe it's true. Like, you were not that close as you thought you were. When these silly things happen and you lose a relationship that you thought was going to be a long-term friendship that you can count on. And the truth is, if you ask me, there's two of those all of the examples that I've given you, there's two in particular that I really miss. Like, I really, really, really miss. Like, I wish I could have them right now. I wish I could reach out right now. But honestly, at the same time, I just feel I can't, because I know it's not going to be the same. And yeah, then I was in the university. I met another good friend. She was fucking nuts. And like literally nuts. And I have no idea what's up with her. I lost contact. I don't think she has social media. So I don't know what's up. Like, I would have to go back. And then I've made friendships through my journeys of changing countries where I've been. And each time I have to say it's difficult. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy, to make friends. And you have to expose yourself. I know there's so many advices that you can receive and you can watch and you can look for yourself. And it takes time, and it takes a mental, preparation to be ready to understand that it's going to be slow and it's not easy. But the problem is that in the middle of that, we all need somebody to rely on. And in my case, some people, some people call their parents, like some people say, my mom is my best friend, my dad is my best friend. Yeah, I don't know about that, like I don't believe that 100%. Like, they could be very good friends, but not your best friend. Because honestly, that age gap is always going to be there. Therefore, for me, I don't think it's that true. But if it happens, well, yeah. And then there's other people who have partners, like romantic partners. Now we're speaking about your husbands or wives. And they say, I met my best friend. Let me tell you something about that. If you really, because people just say these things sometimes, and I think they say it and they even write down vows while they're exchanging vows in the altar, and they say, I found my best friend and shit like that. But let's be honest, again, if you're really saying it because you really truly connected with someone, then you're one in probably 200,000 people, 1 in 200,000 that has found in their partner their best friend. Because the other ones, I don't think it's true. I think people just say it sometimes to make themselves feel better, or because they're not willing to accept that they have no fucking friends for whatever reason. Like, it's okay to admit that people moved on around you and you're not as connected, and therefore they're saying like their partner is their best friend. But I can tell you that my partner is not my best friend. I can tell you there's certain things that I don't tell my partner, and it's not because I don't trust him, or it's not because, it's just that, no, man, like, I need a friend, another type of friend for that. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, sometimes I just even find myself talking to myself or writing it down somewhere. Because at least I vent it out that way. But I don't feel like I need to tell him everything in my life either. Because honestly, there's certain things that I don't think he'll get. Like, being absolutely honest about that. There's certain things that I even think he won't even get. So, I don't know. And then there's, like, all these circumstances. Like, again, like when I was saying, like, people are afraid to admit that they have no fucking friends. And yeah, I mean, people move on, I get it. And I'm not mad at people who distance themselves because they're doing something different in life. Like, that's normal. Again, like, that's normal. If you're just got married, you can create a little bit of separation. Agree. Because you have to take care now of that nucleus that you're trying to build now, which is creating a family. If it's just two people, then it might become more than two, because you procreate and you have babies or whatever. That's fine. What is not fine, and I don't agree with, is with people, and again, this happens a lot in Latin America. Fuck it, I don't know why. All these topics always bring me back to bad habits and bad perspectives that Latin American people have on certain things. But This happened to one of my sister's friends. You know, she had a very good friend. She was a friend during high school, even after high school. I think they even studied a little bit of university, something together. They were like hanging out all the time. And then this bitch, her friend, met someone, got married, and then she was a bit slutty when she was young. Let's call it by its name. She was slutty. Okay? The girl was around the block. Let's just say that. But then suddenly she met God. She met God, and then she had this divine intervention, and therefore she couldn't keep talking to my sister because of that, because they were no longer in the same page about anything, about whatever it is that they had shared before in life. And I don't think my sister was a bad influence at all. Like, I mean, I don't know. She might have her own reasons why. Like, I have cut off people too. Like, I've admitted. But she started cutting off basically everybody else because they were not at the level, at the standard of Jesus anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like this stupid thing. Like, I mean, just because you had this divine intervention or, you know, awakening doesn't mean, and that the people who are immediately around you in that moment are not going through that same intervention at the same exact time you're going through it. That doesn't make them the devil. Like, what about that? That's being a shitty friend. That's what it is. And you know what? Those are things people do. And I've had like two, like from the examples I gave before, like two situations also happened. And then people realized that they were like in their Jesus era, and then suddenly they came out of the Jesus era and they started drinking like crazy again and partying again and enjoying fucking life again. And you're supposed to just be there and receive them with your arms wide open, like Creed would say. You know? But I'll be the friend. If you are a nice person to me, I'd be actually that friend that would actually be there, actually, and I would receive you back. So yeah, where was I? Like, I got lost already because I have been spitting all this verbatim. Okay. So yeah, I've lost friendships, and again, I remember. I was in the part where I was talking about people moving on in their lives, like people growing their own families and stuff like that. I'm okay with it. Again, I'm okay with it. You have kids. In my case, that has isolated me even a little bit more. Now, in this present time, you know why? Because I'm 37. And people have expectations when they know you're 37 and the friend group is around that same age. Yeah, they have expectations. And I've always been kind of a weirdo in certain ways, and I have come to terms with that in my life. Like, I know that I'm not going to be 100% accepted, which is why I'm willing to be accepting of many other people as well. Because I know what it feels like when people judge you by your cover. Because I have a resting bitch face. I do. And because I'm very, like, direct, I'm very honest, I'm very, like, unapologetic in certain things. And I have tried to change a little bit of that because it doesn't sit well with everyone. And it's okay. But I have a sarcastic, dark humor. And that, I'm never going to change it. That's who I am. Going back to expectations. People have expectations. And the problem is that they ask you what your age is. And they probably have kids. Right now, people around me are either popping a kid as we speak, or they did 1 year ago or 2 years ago. Which is fine. Like, whatever, man. You want to have kids? That's your thing. I don't know if I want to have kids. And I know clock's ticking for me. And guess what? I might not have kids. So what? And if that's going to cut me off the group of friends and take me out of the friend chat group, then so be it. Because I don't know, man. I don't want to be talking about the color of your baby's poop all day. Like, fuck that shit. Like, I know, I get it. And I respect it. You're my friend. I can deal with it. But you have to understand that I have needs too. And my needs are not talking about your child's poop all day. You know, as a friend. So that's where people have to understand that we all have to put an effort of being better friends. And I told you I was going to tell you how I had identified that I'm not a good friend. Well, I have. I made that introspection. I did. And what I realized is that I'm a shitty friend because sometimes I just don't answer back on time. And I'm really shitty at letting you know if I'm available sometimes. Like, I'm really shitty at that. It's getting worse. Like, you know, people contact me and, hey, want to hang out? And I'm not there. So I can't. It's not because I don't want to. I can't. I'm not in the city. I'm not in the same city at the moment. And I tell you, no, but I'll let you know when I'm back. And my shitty friend trait is that I never let people know when I'm back. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm really bad at that. Or I'm really bad at, like, I'll contact you to let you know if I'll come or not. Like, and this is a very Honduran thing. I'll let you know. Nah, letting you know never happens. So if a Honduran, no matter in what language, Spanish, English, French, tells you, I'll let you know, and that person's Honduran, you gotta know that probabilities of getting that, letting you know back, are negative. Okay? Just saying. But I'm really shitty friend because of that. And I wish I could have more feedback as to why I'm a shitty friend. Another thing is that I like to debate a lot. And sometimes people who are not that deep into friendship with me, and they're maybe you're starting to, you know, getting to know me better, I think that might, like, keep them from making those steps forward, because sometimes people can take that as I am a very conflictive person, but the honest truth is that I don't take it personal. And even though we are debating on something and you're probably making your point, which is valid and probably right versus mine, debating on it with you, that doesn't mean that after we finish or next day I dislike you or I like you less because we were not agreeing on something. But certain people don't see it that same way. You know, and it's not about being a shitty friend completely when I say that, but I can see why certain people might get the wrong impression. So yeah, I know that I have to fix that, and I've tried to fix that a lot. I try to listen more now and let others, you know, have their wins in whatever it is that we're talking about. So yeah, friends, man, like this whole topic, and I know the suggestions that people make and the advice they give you, join groups. I've done that. Like I have a meeting next week actually about a friend. Somebody contacted me that they have group from LinkedIn, so I'll be there. You know, but do I have high expectations about meeting someone there that is going to be a deep, not like friends that again, these are friendships that I can hang out with because we might keep meeting in this group, you know, or because I find somebody that has the same interest in a hobby that I like to do, maybe hiking or doing mountain bike or something like that, then we might start hanging out more because of that. But that doesn't mean that people out there are willing to go into deeper relationships with you or deeper conversations with you. And that's something that I feel like all of us are sometimes doing. We're blocking those relationships from getting deeper because we're afraid of judgment most of the time. We're afraid of pouring ourselves into other people because we don't know how they will react, and we're afraid of what they might think about us. Like they might say like, this girl's a piece of work, or who knows. But when the reality is that maybe the other person has worse problems or issues or things going on than you do, but we're so afraid of having deeper interactions that we keep it quite superficial most of the time, and that I hate. One thing that I have found out here in particular is that a lot of people like to ask a lot of questions here. Like I feel like a lot of people know half of my life here, and I have been here like for less than a year, and they know more about me than I know about them. So I don't know. I don't know how the balance works there, but I would like to know some gossip. Like I enjoy gossip, like no, they actually said recently somewhere, I believe, that gossip is healthy. So where's the gossip? Like, I'm a woman, I like to gossip. Truth is, French men, I think, are more into gossip than women. That's a different conversation though. But yeah. And then I wish I could try. I'm gonna try, because I've been in Meetup. Internations is another page, that you can use. There's Bumble BFF. That's a good one, I think. I've heard good things about that one. I have not even checked if that works here in Europe. If it does, I'll try to give it a look. But in general, I just wish I could make friends randomly, like old school type of things, like when you're a kid, like you sit next to another kid in the playground and you say, hey, you want to be friends? And the other kid goes, yeah, let's be friends, man. And then you become friends and you start playing around. No, adults are like, oh my God. And the conversations are going in their mind. They're not even speaking to the other person. They're like, oh, what if I tell them a little bit about, like, they ask me something, and if I let them know too much, like, what are they going to think about me? Are they going to think I'm crazy? And we make these scenarios in our mind. Yeah, I know. We make these scenarios in our mind. And I know that I had a therapist tell me once that, okay, maybe you should be taking steps to open up. And I've done it, and I've been that person for a while, sometimes in friend groups as well. Like, I propose a lot. I like to think outside the box and come up with something that we can do, like crazy shit sometimes too. And people follow sometimes, which is scary, but it's nice. But sometimes I just wish I could have somebody just reach out of the blank, and just tell me, the fuck is going on with you? Like, are you okay? How's life going? I don't want to be that person all the time, like asking or being the one proposing, or because I'm tired. Like, sometimes I'm just tired. Sometimes I just wish that person that you're asking me to be, where's that person for me? Just, and the truth is, and again, since I thought about it and I wrote about this to try to figure this out for myself about talking about this topic about friendships, I realized that we're born alone, unless you were born in twins situation or quadruplets or more than that, or unless you're part of the surrogate kids now that's going on in the world. I don't know. But unless you're not from that, then that means that you were born alone in the womb, and guess what? When we die, we'll die alone. You're gonna be buried alone or burnt into ashes alone. So yeah, truth is, we're alone. And it's okay. I'm okay being alone. Don't get me wrong. If there's something that I have realized from more than 5 years or more, I don't have a problem being alone, but we are not islands. And we cannot keep ourselves isolated the entire time, even though sometimes we feel like doing that. Sometimes we need a friend, and sometimes other people need a friend as well. So, yeah, even if it's painful to do it, even if you're tired, like I said, I am sometimes, of trying, I guess we will have to keep putting in the work to try to make more friends, you know? And deep, meaningful friendships are not easy to find. That's a fact. That's true. Okay? It's not easy. I would like to hear your experience with friendships. Like, we are becoming better versions of ourselves, hopefully, all of us. So it's normal to keep moving on, and life happens to all of us, you know. But yeah, tell me about your friendship experiences. Tell me, what do you think is good or bad about friendships that you have been in or out of? And honestly, if you need to talk about something with someone, like, I like to debate, I like to support people, even if it's only with words. And yeah, if you need to talk about something that you consider I could be helpful for, then you just reach out. Like, I promise you, I'm not that friend that will go out and tell others. I'm a good friend in that way. I won't go telling your business to other people, and not even my partner. Like, I'm that good of a friend. Because there's friends that you tell them things and they'll go tell their partners, and then their partners, for some reason, because I said men like to gossip as well, they go tattletale on their friends as well, and then the whole group ends up knowing the other person's business as well. So no, I'm not that type of friend. Like, I keep things to myself because I know it's important, and that's what I would expect from others as well. So I wouldn't do that, you know. But on the other hand, like I said, if you need somebody to talk to, you can reach out. You can send me a message. You can, if I'm available, we can even talk on the phone or on a video call or whatever, man. Like, of course, I'm not going to encourage people to contact me for weird shit, because I'm not down for that. But if you need a friend, just, I know I could use some friends. Like, just randomly cool people that we could meet through social media. Because there's many platonic, and I have those, actually, now that I think about it. I have those type of relationships. I have absolutely platonic relationships that I have never met in person. That's why I call them platonic, because we're so good friends, like, on social media. Like, we would write each other. I remember I called one once. I remember I called this friend once. Like, I've never met him in person. Like, I've never, and I was broken down, and I called this person, and he actually gave me good advice. Told me, get the fuck out of there. You'll be okay. Get yourself together, and you'll get over this. Call me back when you're home. And guess what? That's a great friend as well. I thank God that I could reach out to that person in that moment, because he was a good friend in that moment. And I've never met that person in person till this day. And I was like, I don't know. I've known this person for more than 13 years now. So, again, if you're out there, you need a friend, I'm here. And I hope you find good friends, if you don't have any, to rely on in this moment. And maybe those friends that are a little bit away from you right now might come back later. Just try to understand that. I know I tell that to myself. I try to understand other people's situations. And, let's keep moving forward to see what the world brings. Maybe you're just getting ready to prepare yourself to receive better friends in your life. That's what I like to think. Whether that's true or not, I cannot tell you that for sure. This is just my manifesting to the world, is that you and I find great friends along the way. So, thank you for listening and watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember that you can now watch full video episodes on Spotify as well. So make sure you like, you subscribe, you comment, and you share, people. Share the content, man. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So see you next time. Thank you and take care.